Okay. Now I'll try to finish the whole lesson. This lesson is where I want to just make sure I'm recording. Yes. Okay. This lesson divided into three parts. Okay, this lesson is divided into parts. You have the anatomy part. Noor, stay away from the thing. Come here. You have the anatomy part. Okay. Anatomy of the veins and the capillaries and the arteries, which is really important. They have a part that involves graphs, which is the carbon dioxide means of transport and the oxygen and whatever. And then you have the part for the high altitudes, the part where people are adapted to live at high altitude. And all three parts are important. This lesson is very important. I'm going to jump to what I think is the most important part, even though everything is important, which is the part the transport of carbon dioxide and oxygen. This equation, okay? I'll start with that. Where is it? Okay. Oh, yes, and capillaries and the tissue fluid and how it's made. The whole lesson is important. So I'll start from here. Fine? Okay, now we have transport of oxygen, which is the easy part. Oxygen is either transported in the red blood cells or it is transported in the plasma. In the red blood cells, it will bind with hemoglobin, give me what? The hemoglobin. Now you the hemoglobin carry four oxygen molecules, and oxygen is a diatomic molecule. So 4 times 2. So you write it. Hemoglobin. O2 is oxyhemoglobin, and this is correct. Or hemoglobin O8. It's all correct because they are actually 8 atoms, 4 oxygen molecules. Okay, because if you have been solving paper 1, they play around with the numbers. So this is the oxygen. If it's going to be transported in plasma, it is going to be dissolved in solution. Fine. Which is the concept that we follow in the transport of everything else. Carbon dioxide. Fine. Now, carbon dioxide. Again, carbon dioxide, the easiest way to study carbon dioxide is doing the diagram. Carbon dioxide, again, it is either transported in the red cells or it is transported where? In the plasma. Yes, so the blood cell is going to come out of the respiring tissues and it's going to go directly into the blood, either carried by the red blood cells or by the plasma. Inside the red blood cells, they either react with hemoglobin, which is most case, they react with water. They react with water, which is most of the case, or they react with hemoglobin. Again, we have the red blood cell. The enzyme carbonic anhydrase is found mainly inside the cytoplasm of the red blood cell. So the carbon dioxide, if it enters inside the red cell, either it will react with water, be carried as dissociated as carbon ions, or it does not react with water. And in the plasma, the same case, either it will react with water or it will not react with water. It's easy to study if you study this way. CO2 is going to be carried by blood in all cases. Blood you have the plasma or the blood cell. Instead, but either will react with hemoglobin or react with water. The plasma, it will react or it doesn't react with water. Okay. Now CO2 inside the red blood cell, inside the cytoplasm of the red blood cell, which has enzyme carbonic anhydrase, it will react with water. Now, what is the equation? Remind me. Carbon dioxide. I forgot to remind me. Exactly. It reacts with water and the cytoplasm of the blood cell where there is high concentration of carbonic anhydrase. Noor, sit here if you can't see. Okay. So, exactly. So I'll write carbonic anhydrase here, the arrow, to give me carbonic acid, HCO3. That will dissociate. In the dissociation, I don't see enzyme. The dissociation is a spontaneous process. Okay. It will dissociate, give me which ions? Hydrogen ions that are positively charged and hydrogen carbon ions. So this is how most of the carbon dioxide is transported. Carbon dioxide enters the cytoplasm of the red cells. Inside the cytoplasm of the red blood cell, I have the enzyme carbonic anhydrase is abundant there, and it will catalyze the action. You need to memorize this reaction. And I want to emphasize that this action happens at the respiring tissues. This happens at the respiring tissues because at the lungs, the opposite will happen. Let's take it step. Now, if the carbon dioxide will be carried by the hemoglobin without dissociation, without reacting with water, it will be carbon dioxide simply reacting with the hemoglobin to give me what? Hemoglobin. Huh? No hemoglobinic acid. Carbamine hemoglobin. Carbamine hemoglobin. Hemoglobin CO2. Carbamino hemoglobin. Hemoglobinic acid is HAH hemoglobin. When it's related to the hemoglobin. Again, you forgot. Okay? Now, in the other scenario, if the carbon dioxide is simply carried by the plasma, it either react with water or it will not react with water. If it reacts with water, we will do or we will follow the same equation. But this is the minority. Most of the carbon dioxide is carried by hemoglobin. If it does not react with water, then simply CO2 will be in solution. It will simply dissolve in water. Okay? Now, you look very confused. If you forgot a lot of things. So again, hemoglobin binds with a lot of things. Let's start with the beginning in terms of affinity. Hemoglobin has the highest affinity to oxygen or carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. Okay? Because if you're a smoker and there's carbon monoxide in your blood, the hemoglobin will prefer carbon monoxide instead of oxygen. So hemoglobin binds with carbon monoxide to give you what? You know this from O level. Carboxy hemoglobin. We always write the hemoglobin first, except in one case. So it will be hemoglobin CO. Carboxy hemoglobin. Okay? You're not a smoker. You have an abundant supply of oxygen. The hemoglobin will bind with oxygen. What? Of course, oxyhemoglobin, you know this very well. Hemoglobin first, and then the O2. Okay? Now, before there's something here. The hemoglobin prefers the hydrogen ions. Remember? The hemoglobin binds with the hydrogen ions. Give me what? Hemoglobinic acid. This is where we say the hemoglobinic acid. And this is the only case where the hemoglobin is written or where the hydrogen is written for the hemoglobin. And the hemoglobin has a high affinity to those hydrogen ions. Why? Huh? I'm recording. Okay. So it binds with hydrogen ions to be hemoglobinic acid. And here is number two in the affinity before oxygen. Number one, the hemoglobin has a high affinity to carbon monoxide. Number one, in terms of uh, affinity. And then number two, it binds with the hydrogen ions to the hemoglobinic acid. Now, what does it do with the hydrogen ions? What does hydrogen do to the exactly, it will make acidic. We don't the pH drop as the end will denature and the product and prevent respiring by aerobic respiration will start respiring by anaerobic respiration. This will lead up to the buildup of lactic acid. Remember, lactic acid, if it builds up in the cardiac muscles, what does it do to the cardiac muscles? Can cardiac muscles pump? No, it will lead to muscle fatigue, and cardiac muscles will stop pumping, and this can lead to cardiac arrest. So we don't want the blood pH to drop. We don't want the blood to be acidic by any means. So the moment hydrogen ions are released, the hemoglobin will bind to it. It acts as a buffer. This is the key word. The hemoglobin will bind to the hydrogen ions, prevent a decrease in blood pH to give you hemoglobinic acid. Okay. Now, and then hemoglobin binds with carbon monoxide, with hydrogen ion, oxygen to give me oxyhemoglobin. Hemoglobin has the least affinity to what, Yasin? To no oxygen, carbon dioxide itself. So the hemoglobin with the carbon dioxide itself, give me what? Carbamine hemoglobin. Don't get confused with the terms. Again, the hemoglobin first and then CO2. So right on my sheet here, again, we in order of affinity, the hemoglobin will bind with carbon monoxide to give me box hemoglobin. Here I write the hemoglobin curve. See, hemoglobin will then bind with hydrogen bonds to prevent an increase in blood pH to be hemoglobinic hydrogen and the hemoglobin. Okay? And the hemoglobin will bind the oxygen or can bind the oxygen, give me oxyhemoglobin. And hemoglobin also can bind with carbon dioxide to be carbonyl hemoglobin, the hemoglobin, and then the CO. Okay, now hemoglobin is very important syllable. You need to, of course, structure, and we revise this class. So, turn protein, globular protein, soluble in water, hydrophilic R groups to outside, form hydrogen bonds with water, hydrophobic R groups are inside, away from water, to maintain stability. So, I have alpha subunits and two beta subunits, remember, because quaternary protein with a protein group in the center. This protein group in the center that contains iron, what does it carry? Oxygen. Now we have two molecules that compete for this iron, two molecules that compete for this bind site. Oxygen and what else? Carbon monoxide. Very good. Okay. They're both competing, but there is other affinity to carbon monoxide than oxygen. Good. Also, the hemoglobin carry CO2, form carbamide hemoglobin, but the CO2 does not bond with the iron. It does not part, not with this static. Bind with the amine group at the end of the amino acid. If you remember the amino acid, the protein has two functional groups, the amine group Na2 and carboxylic acid. The CO2 binds the group, and we have four amine groups. In other words, just remember that the hemoglobin binds with four carbon dioxide molecules and four oxygen molecules. Okay? And carbon dioxide has a higher affinity for carbon monoxide, and oxygen carbon monoxide are competing for the same binding site. Clear? Clear? So hemoglobin is important. You have to know structure and why it's soluble and all the information about hemoglobin and what does it bind and what are the compounds formed when it binds with XYZ, just like we mentioned, and the order of affinity, and it is even mutated in sickle cell anemia, where the GAG is converted to what? There's a substitution, and A will be substituted by the thymine, it will be GTG. This GAG, this normal base triplet, gives which amino acid normally without mutation? Glutamic acid. Very good. That is soluble, polar, and hydrophilic, and dissolves in water, and it's just fine. When it is mutated and changes from GAG into GTG, what amino acid will give you? The line that is opposite, polar, phobic, and insoluble, and makes the hemoglobin sit in shape and sticky and block capillaries and yeah, cell anemia. Okay, so we advise anything related to the hemoglobin. Going back to carbon dioxide, and now it is transferred. Okay, so we have this nice diagram here that hopefully summarizes the transport of CO2 and have the note. Oh, let's just be quick because I want to finish the whole lesson. So the CO2 is carried in red blood cell or in the plasma. And red blood cell either it will bind with water, it will not bind with water. It will bind with hemoglobin. The plasma, it will bind with water, or it doesn't bind with water. Very easy. And how we describe it? We say that it binds with water is dissociated hydrogen carbonate ions, not dissociated hydrogen carbonate ions. If it binds with water, this equation dissociated as hydrocarbonate ions. It does, and this is the art. It does not bind with water, it will bind with hemoglobin to give me carbaminohemoglobin. Easy? Okay? And plasma or the line. Always answer starts this sentence. Carbon dioxide is responding tissue. It result aerobic response. It will diffuse the tissue, blood, and in the these are the options. Either it binds with or it doesn't bind with. It's in